Add that to the trophy case of suck for the Houston Texans after two really disappointing performances from this team. After two really disappointing games that started the season 0-2 for the Texans, they somehow, some way found a way to one-up it and go 0-3. And what is one of the worst losses under DeMeco Ryans, the worst loss to this point this season against a team that's almost as piss poor as they were on this game day. The Houston Texans found a way to lose the football game. And all of the little uglies, all the little warts, all the nasty parts of this team from the first two games showed up in some way, shape, or form in this game and this loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars. From the offensive ineptitude, from the offensive line, to the quarterback, to guys not getting open, to guys trying to do too much, to penalties, to tackling. We'll talk about all of it at some point, but I want to start with this disease that the Texans have. Because after the game, DeMeco Ryans goes to the podium and says, hey, we're close. I know close isn't good enough, but we're close. Close is a disease now for the Houston Texans. Close is a bad thing for the Houston Texans because it goes and allows you to ignore some of the elements and some of the pieces of this team that force you to be close. As if they had won any of these games, you would suddenly ignore that this offense looks totally inept for large portions of the game. As if they had squeaked out a victory against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the LA Rams, you would think, okay, well, everything's okay with CJ Stroud and his teammates over on the offensive ball or the defense. It's tackling okay. Close is not impactful when you don't have the coaching, talent, or avenue to fix close. And that's what it feels like. Close is a negative for you because the scary part about saying you're close to whatever they're close to is that's not a level of football that's going to win you very many football games. If they had one more touchdown each game, yes, they might be 2-1, they might be 3-0. But you would still overall in the grand scheme of football not be playing good football. You need to be close to good and excellent. They are trying to get close to acceptable. And acceptable is not where this team is supposed to be in year three, coming off of back-to-back AFC South division championships and making the changes that they made, the moves that they made to try to get past where they have been. That invisible ceiling that is playing a much better team on the road in the divisional round after you've beat somebody up in the wild card round at home. They made moves and changes and altered their franchise with hopes and desires of being a better team than those versions of the Houston Texans. And they have similarly, I don't think I said that right, but they have wholly and totally failed at that. What are they close to? Maybe they're close to acceptable football, but acceptable football is going to get you beat more often than not. They are so far away from where they need to be and where they wanted to go as a team that close is a maddening thing to hear. It is a disease, especially when after the first couple of weeks, you have not showcased the abilities, talents, or avenues to fix close. Somehow, some way, the offense still looks terrible. It still looks uninventive, stale, inefficient, and it starts and stops. Sometimes they'll go no huddle and move fast and throw the ball quick, and then they want to take 35 seconds to snap the football on the very next play. Sometimes they'll throw the ball short, and then everybody's running deep routes to get open, except for when it's 3rd and long or 2nd and long, and everybody runs little short routes or they throw it sideways. Nick Caley's a huge problem. He must be the world's best interviewer because if this is what his interview was, hey, I'm going to do this, and that is what they decided to go with, they made a mistake. But he must have had an incredible interview. He must have said everything that they wanted to hear to make him the offensive coordinator. But he has failed this football team. He has failed the quarterback. He's failed the offensive linemen. He's failed the wide receivers. He's failed the tight ends. He's failed the running backs. On top of all that, the players don't escape the criticism either, but we're still just talking about the offensive coordinator. He is scared of this team making mistakes. And then when they go out there and make mistakes, missed blocks, not blocking well on the edges on screen plays, not pushing the pile on the ground. Then when they go out and make mistakes, they go out and put themselves further in the hole, deeper away from success, that they're clawing and scratching constantly crawling and scratching to try to be successful. And yet they can't, because the offensive coordinator has no rhythm with the way that he calls a game. He has no consistency with the way that he calls a game. There's not anything this team does particularly well. There is no bread and butter element to this offense. There is nothing that they can say, stuff's going wrong, we got to do this, we can do this to move the football. They don't have that. It's non-existent. And a couple of times today, it looked like they were moving the football in large part because C.J. Stroud would go out there and make a play. Every now and then it was, oh, look, there's a short pass over the middle. But I watch Trevor Lawrence play this game. And Liam Cohen, I understand he's not a first-time play caller, and he's been coaching offense in this league, and he's previously an offensive coordinator in this league and called plays in college. So I get that he's got a lot more experience than Nick Caley. But Liam Cohen has a quarterback that has an issue getting the ball deep. Liam Cohen has wide receivers that can't catch the football. Here are the long plays of the day for all the pass catchers for the Jaguars. 46, 21, 16, 16, 16, and 9. Here are the longs for the Texans. Nico Collins had 50 yards on a touchdown. Then it was 13, 12, 4, 9, 6, 4, 5. There's nothing explosive about this offense. There's nothing consistent. If they could dink and dunk you to death, they would, but they can't because the offensive line doesn't protect well. The quarterback doesn't see everything that's out there. And even when he does see it, those answers get covered up quickly because it is a stale and predictable offense that Nick Caley runs. And the opposing coordinators know how to finally start taking advantage of him, even if there's a modicum of success, even if there's a little tiny bit of success, defensive coordinators start to pick him apart at the seams. And ultimately, it turns into a situation where it's up to the 11 guys on the field. And here's the thing, they're not very talented in those 11 spots. Nico Collins is good. Stroud has some good moments. That's about it. They're not very talented on the offensive line. Ariante Ursary is a rookie. He got abused by a veteran player today in Josh Hines-Allen, including on the final play of the game for the Texans, where Hines-Allen beat Ursary, who he'd been beating all day long, and gets in there and affects C.J. Stroud's pass, and it gets intercepted. But the one time they tried to go and help Ursary, Harrison Bryant just totally whiffed. You had Jakob Johnson get there late. He wasn't there. Again, blocking schemes are an issue for this team, even though it was a huge issue a year ago with a different offensive coordinator and a different offensive line coach and a totally different offensive line. Ursary, not good enough today. Laken Tomlinson got soft benched. He got soft bench. He didn't get fully benched because he still got to play, but anytime you're rotating left guards without an injury as the reason, that means both of those guys stink. So not good on the left side of the offensive line. They had some okay moments a couple of times with the offensive line center to the right tackle, but even Titus Howard, false start to ruin a drive, turn a third and manageable into a third and long. Titus Howard holding on a run play that went nowhere, and the offensive line can't get a push. Let's go to the quarterback. C.J. Stroud missed a throw to Dalton Schultz in the end zone. He wanted a flag. Dalton Schultz wanted a flag. I'm not sure why they wanted a flag because the throw wasn't catchable. It did not look like Schultz. Even if he wasn't held, and he claimed he was held, he kept going like this to the official. Even if he was held, it didn't feel like Schultz could have caught that football. C.J. Stroud totally dirted a play on third and long on a screen play. Why? There was a tiny bit of pressure there. He still refuses to step up into the pocket. There are opportunities for C.J. Stroud to step up and avoid some of the pressure and let some of those longer developing plays develop, but he runs himself backwards and out of plays so often. Now, there are some moments from this game where C.J. Stroud looked really good. He had one play where he extended the play with his legs, looked like he was going to run, ended up throwing it. That was a nice play. He had some moments where he had to extend the play with his legs and made something happen, but ultimately still not good enough from the quarterback. Nico Collins, he has one big catch because the Jaguars blow the coverage, and then while trying to do too much, because that's what happens when pressure builds on the offense like this, while trying to do too much, and Nico Collins is stripped of the football and gives away one of the plays and one of the drives that they had where they were headed into the red zone with an opportunity to put points on the board. There's just so many things wrong with this team. They can't get in the red zone. Even if they do, there's no faith that they're going to put points on the board. There's inconsistency throughout. Nick Caley's been unimpressive, and then pretty much every single player on the offense has been unimpressive. And there's nobody coming to save them. That's the biggest element. There's not a trade they can make. There's not a player coming back from injury that's going to fix this. There's not somebody you can elevate off the practice squad. There's not a free agent that you can go out there and sign. There's not really even a firing right now that you can make that's going to fix this. They have to make it work with the guys that they have in the building. They have to make it work with the players that they have in the building, with a offensive line that overall talent-wise feels less talented than last year, though they've had a moment here or there. Still not a good offensive line, with a running back room that is less talented, with a wide receiver room that has plenty of question marks because nobody can consistently get open, either be it beat their man or by the scheme of the offense. This is who they have to work with. This is who has to fix it. And the problem with it being this group of people, this 25 or so players and these coaches, is nobody on this offense has proven that they have an answer. Not the answers, an answer. Nobody. Not Nick Caley, not Cole Popovich, not Jerry Shulpinski, who are the only three new shot callers on this offense, not Gerard Johnson, not Ben McDaniels, not Bill Lazor, not Danny Barrett, not Jake Moreland. Nobody on offense, from the players to the coaching staff, and then you can rope the head coach in on this. Nobody's got an answer right now, much less the answers that are necessary to fix this offense. That's the scary part, because yet again, this defense, and I know there were some moments you want back from the defense. Danielle Hunter extended a drive with a really stupid penalty, and they didn't tackle particularly well throughout the course of this one. But they still only allowed 17 points, 20 if you think that the kicker should have made that one kick and shouldn't have bailed the Texans out from that. You should be able to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars when you only allow 17 points, or in a theoretical conversation, 20 points. But your offense isn't anywhere close to a regular NFL offense. That's why the close word is so nasty, because this is who they have to fix it. And my God, even if Joe Mixon miraculously healed from an anonymous foot injury that nobody in that building wants to publicly talk about, and nobody in that building wants to act like Joe Mixon's still in this organization, even if he's miraculously walked on the field in week 5, he's not fixing this. These are the players and coaches that they have on the field to try to find an answer, and then find another answer, and then find another answer to the many questions that exist on this offense. Nobody's coming to save them. Nobody is going to get added to this equation that is going to fix things for this offense. They have to figure it out with the players that they have, and the head coach has to adjust things, coach up the coaching staff, and coach up the offensive players to a point where they can provide some of the answers. And doesn't that sound like one of the absolute scariest things that you could think about this Texans team, is that no one's coming to save this offense, and that the people who've shown that they don't have any answers, Nick Haley threw a few games, some of these players for a few games, but the vast majority of the coaching staff and the players throughout last year and these 3 games, they don't have the answers right now. Now, maybe, just maybe, they start to figure out a few things here and there, and they can focus on how they make this one thing better, and they can just build on that. But the clock is ticking fast. You are way behind in the AFC South already. The thought process being you were headed to the playoffs if you win the AFC South. You're way behind if you're the Houston Texans, and you're way behind in the AFC pecking order. You've got a lot of work to do in a short amount of time. And you have the players that you went out there and got in the building to answer these questions. This is it. This is the crew. This is who you picked. You decided to go with a rookie left tackle. You decided to go with a veteran left guard who hasn't played good football in 3 football seasons. You decided to go with Titus Howard at right tackle, even though you didn't want him to be the right tackle at any point in the offseason operation until you had to put him at right tackle. You decided to go with an aging Nick Chubb. You decided to go with a wide receiver room that was built on a fragile Christian Kirk and a couple of rookies behind Nico Collins. That's what you've got. By the way, we had Christian Kirk a couple of different ways in Sleeper this week. We didn't win in Sleeper. I'm sorry. We'll put some winners together. Sleeper also does a great job as a score app, okay? Even if you're not playing daily fantasy, Sleeper has the most intuitive and advanced scores in apps. These other apps that you've used previously for scores, not good. Use Sleeper for your score app, and I promise after the losses this week, we will put together some winners in daily fantasy. We will do everything we can to get you some daily fantasy wins here, because believe it in the offense, not the way to get a daily fantasy win with Sleeper. Use that code Stoots, STOOTS, the link in the description down below. When you sign up, your first sign up gets a deposit match up to $100. Put in 100, get 100, put in 50, get it 50. They're my sponsors for this video. So I appreciate them for being here throughout the football season. Appreciate you for checking them out. Terms and conditions do apply. See Sleeper's terms and conditions. Operational over 25 states. Stoots is the code. STOOTS, links in the description down below. So you're at a crossroads already. You're at a crossroads 3 weeks into the season. You're at a crossroads 3 weeks into the season because you've got an 0-3 team coming to town that you desperately have to win this football game. Or the belief that you can get on track may be totally gone. You might be sunk 4 games into the season like the Texans were a few years ago when they had to fire Bill O'Brien 4 games into the season. Now, they're not going to fire D'Amico Ryans 4 games into the season. They're not going to do that. But could there be changes throughout the course of the team? Could there be benchings? Could there be different guys getting opportunities? Absolutely, there could be. But ultimately, it comes back to the danger of thinking about them being close, because close is not good for this team. The Rams were close to beating the Philadelphia Eagles. They didn't have the talent, and they made a couple of mistakes down the stretch. The Houston Texans are close to maybe being acceptable on offense. But ultimately, the Houston Texans aren't anywhere near as good as they need to be to not only just win football games, but go where they wanted to go this season. I understand the old adage, 1 game at a time. You can't worry about winning week 17, week 16, week 15, week 14 until you take care of your business in week 3. Well, they haven't taken care of business in 3 weeks. And if they don't take care of business sooner rather than later, the stuff that they can control, the stuff that they're in charge of, the closeness, get rid of that and get close to playing an elite level. They can't do that. It's going to be a really long season. It's going to be a really long season. It's going to be a really disappointing season. But close is not something that the Texans, it's okay to be close and sneak by a win every now and then, but to be close and not be able to display that you have any of the answers with either the coaching staff or the players, that's the scary part for the Houston Texans. That's the scary part. What did I miss in this one? Let me know in the comment section down below. On your way down there, if you want to, throw me a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll be here all season. I'll be here all season. They might be going 0-17. We might be talking about the number 1 overall draft pick, but I'll be here all season. I'm not going anywhere. It's what I do. I still enjoy it. It's frustrating sometimes, but I'm not going anywhere. I don't want you to go anywhere either. I understand if you do. But I don't want you to go anywhere either. We're going to have some fun on the channel, and we can have this group therapy sessions like this. So let me know what I missed in the comment section down below. Appreciate you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I can't wait till we talk Texans again soon.